Welcome, adventurers. I know I said that my next video would focus on math and mechanics, and I swear I will film that immediately after filming this, but I first wanted to talk about a recent in-person, not gaming, but shopping experience that I had. I traveled to Indianapolis to catch the total solar eclipse, and while there, we were looking for things to do, and I found a really promising looking game store called Elf and Moon. We went, spent about an hour, maybe or so, shopping around, and it was really an incredible experience, and it got me thinking about how much I really do miss playing in-person games, because I've actually never played a TTRPG like at a real tabletop, only on a virtual tabletop through Foundry. So it's something I'd like to get back into at some point, or get into in the first place, and do more board game nights with friends and things like that. Anyway, it was an incredible space, so if you are in the area, you should check it out. The store was great, kind of a typical retail area up front with tons of different board games, cards, dice, that sort of stuff. Then there was an open seating area where you could sit down, and while I was there was actually a group of people who started playing I think they were playing D&D 5th edition campaign, and then there were two private rooms that you could rent. One of them was sort of decorated in the style of your typical medieval inn or castle that had some weapons hanging on the wall, like a rapier and kind of a big old sword and some daggers. They had a flute and a violin for your bard, and then they had a treasure chest as well. And then they had another private room that was super cool. It was sorcery and alchemy and magic themed, lots of cool glow-in-the-dark items. There was a mimic in the corner. I would absolutely love one day to spend a 4-hour session in one of those rooms, like doing a one-shot with friends, being around a table, having physical tokens, rolling physical dice, all of that kind of good stuff. It was really promising to see. So again, if you are in the area, you should definitely stop by. I wanted to show you some of the goods I got there, just to let you know what they've got. I got the introductory set to Warhammer 40k. I've never played Warhammer 40k, though I am absolutely fascinated by it. Back in high school, a friend asked me if I wanted to play, and I said no at the time because I was just kind of busy and didn't want to pick up a new hobby, but I've kind of always looked at it since, watching videos on YouTube, reading about the lore. So I just got this, figuring this is a good way to get started. I've got some Space Marines and some Tyranids, and I used to do a lot of model building when I was a kid and painting, so I'm looking forward to getting back into that. I think it'll be a good additional hobby for me, and it's something I'm thinking about either putting on a video or even streaming because it is kind of time consuming, so pay attention to that. I got this absolutely beautiful game called Bonsai. The objective is to build a bonsai tree. You have little hex tokens that are either wood, leaves, flowers, or fruits, and you build a tree. There's sort of a good balance of mechanics of how many tokens you can have in your store at one time versus how many you can play at one time. And then there are different objectives and objective cards that you shuffle and use differently in each game. So the strategy from game to game actually varies quite a bit. Another really cool thing about it is that it is 1 to 4 players, so you can play this on your own, or you can have a couple of people over and get together a good game with friends. And then finally, of course, I got hardcover of the Monster Core, which I had not had yet. I realized I still need to get the PDF from Paizo, which I'll do at some point when I actually remember. But already it's been really rewarding to just kind of open up. I love looking at the artwork. I love just reading about the various abilities of monsters and seeing their different stats. It was really nice at the end of a long day of tourism to kind of sit back in the hotel room and just read about a couple of monsters. So that's it. Again, if you're in the area, check it out. Let me know if you have other game store recommendations in case I'm traveling to one of your cities at one time. I thought it was really cool to see a physical space for something that is, let's be honest, predominantly digital now. And I really do miss those physical things. I remember playing board games a lot when I was younger. Even doing like pre-pandemic, I feel like more friends had board game nights that just never really came back. So hopefully with some of these purchases, I'll get back into it. I just have to find someone who is willing to put in as much time into Warhammer 40K as I am going to be doing.